Welcome to Secrets to Alignment with Savannah Schaffer. I am here to equip you with the belief and energy to make your dreams a reality. Take this time to fill your cup and align with the most vibrant version of you. Oh my gosh. Hello, my love. Oh, I am so happy to be here. As always, literally every single time that I hit play and that I write out all of my notes for this incredible podcast, I am always feeling just so in alignment and so grateful. And of course, I'm feeling in alignment because this is the Secrets to Alignment podcast with your host, Savannah Schaffer. I'm so stoked to be here. I hope that you guys are having like such a beautiful day wherever that you're at, whether you're listening to me while you're cleaning your house, you're in your car, you're going on a little walk. I'm just really happy that you decided to hit play today. So, hey girl, hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. This podcast episode is specifically for the woman who has heard over and over and over again, money doesn't grow on trees, rich people are greedy, money is the root of all evil, more money, more problems. If you have heard any of these said throughout your childhood, or maybe even more subtler ones like we can't afford that, or I'm sorry, that's too expensive, we don't have enough, any of those things that I've just mentioned, if you grew up hearing that, all of these indicate that your money story may need some work. And I am here to support you with that today. Now, I absolutely grew up hearing some of these things. And if you guys know a little bit about my backstory, I did grow up having a good amount of wealth around me. But in my opinion, and don't tell anybody I said this, but in my opinion, I grew up with parents who had a lot of money in the bank, but a very broke mindset. And we went through this period when I was about 9 years old, where we kind of quote unquote lost everything. That's how my child brain perceived it, at least. We lost everything. My dad lost an entire business he had like 70 employees at one point. Like, we had this multi-million-dollar home that we were living in, and we lost so much. And in my childlike brain, it felt like we had lost everything. And in my mind, I perceived us getting fast food like every single night, and our money was like locked away somewhere. There was like all these like weird shady things happening, and I really just saw in my childlike brain, once again, I just thought we'd lost it all. And these types of things were constantly said in my household, specifically like money doesn't grow on trees, and like kind of that narrative around being like a spoiled little brat, which I don't feel like I ever was, but I will say that like that was constantly like thrown around in our household, like you guys are ungrateful, things like that, when like I didn't even know what great gratitude was. My parents did not even ever share anything about gratitude growing up. So none of us knew that we had anything different than anyone else around us. Like, to us, all of our friends had very similar lifestyles to us. So we didn't know that there was people even struggling. Like, I sound so ridiculous saying that, but like that's my truth personally, is I didn't know there's other people who didn't have what we had. So I am very intentional now as a mother to like make sure that Aria knows these things, and like we're giving back to the people who really need it. And like my entire mission of life is to give back to the people who truly need it the most. But yeah, okay, I digress. Now let me get into the reason why I am sharing all of this, is because these things that are said throughout our childhood, whether it's from our parents, maybe it's around our grandparents, maybe it was somebody else that we grew up with that we were really, really close to, any of the people in our lives that have ever said rich people are evil, or money is the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy, or money doesn't grow on trees, all of those things, those actually imprint our subconscious mind, and then we end up carrying on those beliefs unconsciously for the rest of our lives. And then that manifests in behaviors like not going after what we want, maybe not asking for the raise, maybe not charging our worth, maybe we're procrastinating a lot, maybe we have all these big dreams and goals in our mind, but we're not actually taking the steps necessary to get to the place that we want to go. It can truly fuck with our brains so much. And let me just say, I know that our parents weren't aware of this. My parents had no idea what they were doing. Your parents probably had no idea what they were doing. They didn't know that they were instilling some like negative belief in you that was going to linger on for the next 20 years. But that's what it does. That's what happens because our brains literally look for stories and situations to validate what is being said to us. So as a kid, we soak up everything like a sponge and we're just taking in information. And then when we go to the store with our parents and their card gets declined, or I remember for us, there was a period of time where we had to use like food stamps, or we had to use like government assistance to help with like us buying groceries, which that's a new memory that's literally coming up right now. That's crazy. And I remember these moments where we'd be in the checkout line, like my parents' card would get declined or something would happen, or we constantly were using like coupons and all these different things, which is so crazy to even say right now. Wow, I'm having realizations even as I say this. But I will say that like all these things, they really do imprint in us. And then when we grow up, we get into these situations where maybe we could ask for a raise, maybe we could go create this dream business of ours, maybe we have this intuitive idea that like is simmering in us and we're like so excited to go after it, but we just keep like playing it down, or we're not talking about it to anyone, or we're not telling anyone what our side business is, or like whatever. Like these types of beliefs, they actually manifest in real life. They manifest through us, through our vessel on a day-to-day basis. And that's exactly why I'm having this conversation with you, because I do not want you to get into that trap, get into that rhythm where you're just moving through the days unconsciously and you're actually keeping yourself in places of lack, because we are all listening to this podcast because we want more for ourselves. And it is okay to want more. I have more on that later as well. So one specifically that I really wanted to touch on, and the reason why I named this podcast what I did, was because I am constantly hearing people say, more money, more problems. Or I've heard many of my clients come to me, a lot of my one-on-one clients will come to me and they're like, yeah, girl, like my mom always said, like, more money, more problems, be grateful for everything that you have and like don't ask for more. And I get it. I get where that's coming from, right? Okay, people equate like business success or success in general maybe with, I don't know, more problems, or like people asking for like all kinds of stuff, right? And then people are like, yeah, like be grateful for what you have and like stop asking for more. Like I get it, like be content. But also fuck that. Like I'm not here to be content. I mean, I'm content and I'm grateful, but I'm not here to just like live like a life where I'm just getting by. Like no, I'm here to expand and evolve. And that is literally what the universe is doing consistently every single day. Every single day, the universe is always expanding and evolving and changing. Therefore, if we were to stay stagnant, if we were to stay at a specific income level for a long time, we'd be literally going against the laws of nature. It is within our birthright to expand, to evolve, to change, and to become more, to welcome in more, to receive more from the universe, from the people around us. Like we are deserving of that because we are always also constantly evolving, constantly changing. And I know that if anyone is listening to this podcast, we all have really, really good intentions. Like the truth is that money is just an amplifier, babe. Like it's only going to amplify who you are. So if you're a good person, you're going to do great things with money. You're going to give back a lot. And if you're a shitty person, you're maybe not going to do those things. Maybe you're going to hoard it all, or maybe you're going to give into the evil side of the world that is not really bright, happy butterflies and rainbows. But I know that I will. I know that you will, because you're listening to this podcast, and I really only attract people who have like really good hearts and souls and would only want to do great things with the wealth that they have. So first and foremost, money is just a tool. It is a tool, the same way that a kitchen knife sitting on your counter right now is a tool. The kitchen knife is completely neutral as it is, but the human that has an intention can either make that kitchen knife cut up some fruit, or it can do really, really crazy, horrible things with it. But at the end of the day, that knife is just neutral. Same with money. Money is completely neutral, but the person who is handling that money is either going to do good or bad things. It's going to amplify who we are. So for me personally, I'm so excited to have more money so that I can be somebody who's giving back thousands of meals to the homeless. I'm so excited to have the kind of wealth to like go dig wells in Africa so that I can give kids and parents and babies clean water so they don't have to walk like 2 miles away from their hut, their home, to go get water. Like I am so excited to have the kind of wealth that I desire, because I know that I'm going to be able to serve people. And even at where I'm at right now, I'm not at the most wealthiest place that I would like to be, but I'm still giving back. I'm still giving like luxurious tips. I'm still giving back to the people who I see that truly need it. I'm still grabbing meals for the homeless people who I see that are around my neighborhood. Like, that is just the kind of person that I am, and that's probably the kind of person that you are. So again, it's not good. Money is not good. Money is not bad. Money is not evil. It is the person that is in control of the tool, of the kitchen knife, of the money, that gets to decide whether that knife, that money, that whatever is used for good or bad. Something that I love about money is that money allows us to express ourselves. Like, we're able to buy things that allow us to literally express ourselves. It allows us to support the kind of causes that are really, really important to us. We get to contribute our money that we have had into things that we truly care about. Or maybe it's just buying yourself something nice. Maybe it's expressing yourself through like a new bag. I'm not one to judge whatsoever. I've got a Louis too. Like, we all have different reasonings that we want money. Like, I really want to travel around this world. Like, I'm so excited to go see more of this world and go see what other people are living like and take on different ideas and modalities that different cultures have. Like, we all have our reasonings for desiring more money. And it is okay to desire more. It is okay to expand, to welcome in more, to receive more. And we are supposed to do that, just like the universe is constantly expanding. We are one with the universe, with God, with source. And what I will say too is that, do you think that God or source would want you to be suffering and stressing constantly and overthinking and doubting and counting every single dollar and being in embarrassing like moments? Like, absolutely not. That's not what the universe or God wants for us. The universe and God wants us to feel free, wants us to actually express ourselves, to give back to others, to serve, to enlighten other people, to show people what's possible, to inspire the collective. So if we're not doing those things, then we're actually not living through God's image, setting a good example for the people who we are around, who are seeing us on social media, who are viewing our content, who are seeing us at the grocery store give back to the person that's outside asking for money. Those little tiny things truly make such a huge difference. And I'm sure that every single person listening to this podcast knows what it is like to struggle financially. I know that I have been there. I know that every single one of my clients have been there. We have all dealt with really hard times. And I think that that's also just what we go through because we're experiencing all of life. You cannot sit here and be open to, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to experience all that life has to offer, because all that life has to offer is also good and bad, highs and lows, emotional turn points and stagnant times in our lives. Like, that is life. That is what life has to offer, is sometimes those moments where we are struggling, where we're at that ground bottom, or we're at that ground zero, we're at rock bottom. That's the word I was looking for. When we're crying at the kitchen table and wishing that things were a different way, like, that is part of life, my love. And you have the power to choose. You have the power to change. You have the power to shift this narrative. And I'm going to give you guys the 6 steps to do so. Now, before I do, I just want to say that money is not going to solve all your problems, okay? I do not believe that having a lot of money in the bank is going to take away all of the internal stress that you're going through and all of that good stuff whatsoever. Honestly, I think that, again, money can just amplify things for you and realize like, oh, wow, now I have all this money and now I'm really, really sad because I haven't done any of the inner work. Or now I've chased all this money, but I don't have the relationships in my life, or I don't have the freedom that I would like, or my schedule's completely packed, like whatever. Like, money is not going to solve everything, but I do believe that it can help. And not only can it help you, but it can help a lot of people who are in your life. Like, think about all the people who you would like to give back to. Think about all the people who you would surprise on their birthday if you had the time and the money to do so. Think about how you'd go travel across the country to like go see your best friend just because you can. What kind of experiences would you have if you had tons of money that you can just effortlessly go spend whenever that you need to because you feel like it? how many more people would you help, and how would you make an impact with having an extra 10 grand, 15, 100 grand to give? Like, there's so much beauty in being able to give back. But if we don't have any extra money, and if we're staying in that lack and in that limit, then we have nothing to give to others. Like, what can you do to help your neighbor if you have nothing to give? Like, that's the reality here, is like, we are meant to support our neighbor, to give back to our friends, to give back to our families, to give back to the random people who we see that are struggling. We are here to do that. And I think that once you start to really get intentional about this, and you start to realize what an impact having more money can do for you, it really does change not only your life, but a lot of the lives around you. And right now, if you're sitting there and you're like, dude, like, I would love to have more money, but my income is capped, or I'm at a 9 to 5, or like my rate is set, or whatever, I understand that 100%. And my recommendation to you right now is literally say a prayer. Say a quick little prayer of like asking the universe, asking God for an opportunity that will allow you to do X, Y, and Z. That's going to check X, Y, and Z boxes for you. That's going to support you in these ways. And then tell the universe and God what you are willing to give in exchange for that. Like, how are you going to do good with that money? Like, what are you going to do with that money? Or what are you going to do with the impact that you're creating through your business or through your work? Or how are you going to show up better? Like, really being intentional about asking for these things, asking to receive, but also giving as much as you can, and letting the universe know that that's how you're going to utilize the kind of income that you're looking to call in. Just having extra money to like be able to invest into therapy, or invest into your business maybe, or just take that next step in your life, like buying your home or doing something of that sort, buying a new car if that's what you want or that's what you need. Like, it is a tool, and it can really support us, and it's okay to ask for more. It's okay to be open to new opportunities. It's okay to want more for yourself, and you should want more for yourself, because I know that you're a high value human being. Like, I know that you're doing a lot of great things and you're really wanting to make an impact, and you deserve to have more money to do so. Okay, so my 6 steps, if you're wanting to accept and receive more wealth, I would start here. Number 1, you need to gain awareness of where you have been operating from thus far. So going back through this podcast, or even listening to maybe some other podcasts or resources, and getting really, really familiar about these different money stories that could have a hold on you. Like, what have people told you that maybe you have been holding on to for a bit too long? What are the thoughts and the stories and the beliefs that maybe you heard growing up that are still affecting you today? Number 2, journal out any of the realizations, any of the connections that you're making. Make sure to actually write this out so that your brain can actually see and connect the dots itself, because that's going to support you so much in not making the same mistakes. As soon as you start to recognize, you're actually starting to take away from that neural pathway because you're wanting to redirect it. So just be very aware of that. Number 3, I want you to journal on what you'd like to experience. What kind of job or opportunity would you like to have? What kind of income would you like to bring in? Where would you like to welcome in more wealth in your life? And when you're really like thinking on this, I want you to pay attention to your body's responses. So I want you to really like tune in, maybe doing this with your eyes closed, like read it out loud after you journal it, read it out loud, or even as you're journaling, you'll notice these things. But if you don't notice anything while journaling, take a moment to read it out loud, maybe close your eyes after, and like see, does anything come up for you in your body? Is it your mind maybe that's kind of spiraling with like, how would that happen? How's that going to work? Is it your heart kind of starting to race? Is it your stomach that starts to drop? Do you get that queasy feeling? Do you feel like that stickiness, that ickiness? Start to pay attention to what's going on in the body. And then once you start to recognize any signs of fight or flight, any signs of stress, like a stress response or anything like that, you want to start to really like center yourself. So you want to take a moment to actually connect with yourself and like put your hand to your heart and take some deep breaths. You want to take some really good deep breaths where you have a longer exhale than the inhale. So you'll inhale and then you'll exhale for a little bit longer. And you're really like, I want you to actually signal to your body, I am safe. I am okay. It is okay to want more. It is okay to call in more. It is okay to receive more. I'm safe in asking for this. Like, just really reinforcing that There's no threat here. You've got to pay attention to your body because your body is literally what's going to control your actions, your thoughts, all of the things. So you really want to start paying attention to that. Tune in with your body, center yourself, and then make sure that you're cueing that you are actually safe where you're at. You're safe to do what you're doing. You're safe to call in that kind of income and all of that good stuff. And it's going to take you doing this many times. Like, it's not just like a one and done. It takes many, many, many times if you really like doing this kind of work to see the impact that it's going to make long term. Now, number 4, I want you to start checking your behaviors today, changing your behaviors today. Number 1, send so much love to your bank account. I am doing this every single time that I pull up the Bank of America app and I see the little symbol loading. I literally am sitting there with my eyes closed and I'm like, I am so grateful for every single dollar that is in my bank account. And I'm so intentional with that. And sometimes I'll even imagine okay, let's say I've got $10,000 in the bank. I'll imagine myself having 100,000. Maybe I have 2,000 that's sitting in there. I'll imagine myself having 20,000. I will literally just imagine and play with oh my gosh, that's what it feels like to have that much money in there. How amazing. I just feel so excited and giddy and it's this playfulness. I'm pumped to see that number and I'm really, really grateful. Anytime that you're spending money or sending money, take the time to actually say that there's more where that came from. Anytime that I swipe my card, I'm there's more where that came from. I absolutely love spending money on getting myself a coffee that makes me feel amazing. Or I absolutely love sending my sister's money to babysit Aria because then I get to fill up my cup. I literally am just always sending money love. I'm just constantly saying these things and I'm constantly reinforcing this beautiful relationship with wealth, with abundance, with money, because it makes me feel better. And maybe I'm a little delulu and I don't really care because I just want to feel good. I do all of the things in my life just to feel good. And I feel really fucking good a lot of the time. So I think it's working. Okay. And number 5, most important, stop using broke bitch language. Stop that right now. Stop saying that's too expensive or I'm broke or I can't afford that. Stop saying that stuff. That stuff is reinforcing what your reality is. If you're constantly talking about how your card is getting declined, how you don't have enough to pay for your bills, how you're barely making enough to survive, you are literally reinforcing that. Instead, be so grateful for every single dollar. Be so grateful that you even had the money to pay your bills. You are not going to be getting blessed with more if you can't be grateful for what you already have. So if you're sitting there constantly complaining about how you don't have enough, why would the universe give you more? Because you're literally ungrateful. Stop being ungrateful. Start giving so much appreciation to every single dollar that you spend, every single time that you swipe your card, every single time that you check your bank account. Give appreciation, gratitude, thank the universe, thank you God. Thank you so much for allowing me to live my life freely and also pay for all of my groceries and also be able to travel when I want to and do all these things. Even if it's just that you have clean water and you've got food over your head, you've got food over your head. You've got shelter over your head. Whatever that you've got, be grateful for it. Please stop with the broke bitch language, okay? And last but not least, you really got to pay attention to what you're feeding your mind with. I have noticed this with different shows that I've watched. I've noticed this with different podcasts I've listened to. What you are hearing is what your brain is literally intaking constantly. And it is either strengthening a positive neural pathway or it is strengthening a negative neural pathway. It's either making you make better decisions in your life or making you make worse decisions in your life. You're either going to feel a lot more abundance or you're going to feel a lot more lack based on what you're listening to, watching, consuming, who you're surrounding yourself with. You really want to be intentional about this. And this is why all of the girls in Tranquil Minds are so intentional about these things and they're actually getting really big results in their lives and they're starting to notice these huge changes happening, is because they're prioritizing these things and they're constantly staying on top of this stuff because we're literally talking about it every single week. We're talking about money, we're talking about wealth, we're talking about abundance, we're talking about self-care, we're talking about taking care of our energy and doing the work that actually moves the needle in our lives. We're doing so much inner work that these girls are just literally opening themselves up to more abundance constantly. Like every single month, these girls are having new wins. And it's incredible. But this is the kind of stuff that we're constantly talking about in there. Like I literally have a whole, like I have Money March, I have Abundance April, I have Manifesting May. Like I have all these different months where I've recorded content for them where they can always just go tap back into, listen, and also do any of the journal prompts in there. Like I give them constant journal prompts, I give them meditations, I give them all kinds of incredible things so they can actually like stay intentional about this kind of stuff and not get into that scarcity mindset, get into that scarcity, like lack headspace. And instead they're really feeling into that abundance. They're feeling so good on a daily basis. And it truly does make such a big difference. If you want to join us, definitely send me a message on Instagram. I'm so down to have you in there. That is like my biggest intention right now is I just want to support and help as many people as I possibly can. And that's why this container is at such a low investment. Like truly, this is the most accessible container that I have. And it's only $44 a month because I just want to make all of the content that I'm creating so accessible to you guys and able to get into, and like the journal prompts that actually make a big difference in your life and all of the little things that I'm constantly doing in my life. I just like am giving you guys so much in there. So if you'd like to join us, please send me a message in there. But if you utilize these 6 steps, I want to start hearing from you guys. I really want to hear, how is this making a change in your life? What stories are you starting to notice? What realizations are you starting to have after you start to journal on these things? What are your dreams and goals? Every single time that you share where you're going with someone else, you're actually creating, as long as they're a good person to share with. Let me just caveat that. If you're sharing it with the right kind of people, it's only going to create more magical energy going towards you creating that reality. If you share it with the wrong kind of people, other people are going to literally poo-poo all over your dreams and goals, and you don't want that. So don't do that. But I want to hear from you because I'm only going to amplify your manifestations coming to life. So if there's anything that you're working towards right now that you're really wanting to change and evolve and grow into, I'm always here for you. If there's anything that I said in this podcast that you're like, hey, I want more information on that, or I'm curious about this, please send me a message. I'd love to do like dedicated podcasts towards your guys' questions that are really answering everything that you're curious about. So I'm here for you, and I love you, and I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful that you are here, and I will talk to you next Monday. Bye.